All right, let's talk about something that might just blow your mind. What happens when you take the raw, gritty energy of the Bronx streets and drop it right into the middle of the world's biggest athletic stage? Well, you get one of the coolest, most unexpected stories in modern sports. How breakdancing, or as it's officially known, breaking, actually battled its way into the Olympic Games.
It sounds kind of wild, doesn't it? I mean, how on earth does a raw, super expressive art form born on the sidewalks of New York City end up under the massive bright lights of the Olympics? Well, the answer is this incredible story about how sports, culture, and even the Olympics are changing right before our eyes.
So, here's the deal. It all kicked off when the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, basically realized they were at a turning point. To keep the games fresh and relevant, they knew they needed a major shot in the arm, something that would actually connect with the younger crowd and really reflect the amazing sports culture that's bubbling up from cities all over the world.
So, to really get this whole story, we're going to look at it in 4 parts. First, we'll cover the big news, the moment it became an Olympic sport. Then, we're going to rewind and go right back to its roots in the Bronx. After that, we'll dive into the battle, which is the heart of the competition. And finally, we'll talk about what this all means for the future of the Olympics. Sound good?
Okay, first up, the announcement itself. Let's start with the moment the news dropped, because this was not just some minor tweak to the Olympic schedule. No way. This was a decision that sent some serious shockwaves through the worlds of dance and sports.
So after it absolutely killed it at the Youth Olympic Games, the IOC went ahead and made it official. For Paris 2024, B-boys and B-girls would be competing for Olympic gold. I mean, can you imagine? This was this huge moment of validation for a massive global community that has poured decades of their lives into perfecting this art form.
And breaking wasn't the only new kid on the block. It's actually part of a much bigger strategy from the IOC to bring in these super exciting, youthful urban sports. We're talking skateboarding, sport climbing, surfing. What they all have in common is this spirit of individual creativity, this whole lifestyle culture around them. It's a smart way to modernize the games, which, let's be honest, we're kind of at risk of feeling a little out of touch.
And the IOC president, Thomas Bach, he really nailed why breaking is so compelling. He said it's not just about the insane physical skill, it's about the personality. It's about that raw expression. He saw that every single athlete brings their own unique style to the floor, and that's what makes it a performance you just can't look away from.
So, for anyone out there still thinking, is this really a sport? Just look at this comparison. The physical strength, the years of practice, the creativity. It's exactly the same stuff required for gymnastics or figure skating. The demands are absolutely on par with sports we've been watching for generations. Make no mistake about it, these performers are absolutely elite athletes.
Okay, so now that we've set the stage, let's dig into where this all came from. Because to really truly understand breaking, you got to go back to where it was born.
Picture the South Bronx in the early 1970s. It was a tough place, a community under a lot of pressure. But out of that difficult environment, something incredible happened. Young African-American and Puerto Rican kids found a new way to channel all that energy. Instead of fighting with fists, they battled it out on the dance floor. It was this powerful, creative explosion, all set to the incredible funk and soul beats from legends like James Brown.
And it's super important to remember that breaking didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's one of the 5 core pillars of hip-hop culture. You've got emceeing, DJing, graffiti, beatboxing, and then breaking. It's all part of this interconnected world where the music, the art, the dance, it all feeds off of each other.
And it was pioneers like Afrika Bambaataa and his Zulu nation who really took this philosophy and spread it around the world. They pushed a message that was so much bigger than just dance moves. It was about being positive, about coming together. And that's what gave the culture its heart and soul, all wrapped up in that amazing motto: peace, unity, love, and having fun.
Okay, so we know its roots. But how do you actually turn this incredible art form into a competition? I mean, how do you judge it? Well, it all comes down to one thing: the battle.
The battle? I mean, this is the absolute heart and soul of breaking. It's where everything comes together. You've got 2 dancers, or sometimes 2 whole crews, facing off in this intense artistic duel. And the goal isn't to be aggressive. It's to one-up your opponent with better skills, more creativity, and just plain killer style.
So what does a battle actually look like? Well, first you've got the DJ, the conductor of the whole thing. They drop a beat, and get this, the dancers have never heard it before. That forces them to improvise right there on the spot. They take turns throwing down their best stuff in these super high-energy rounds.
Meanwhile, a panel of judges is scoring everything, and you've got the MC, the guide, keeping the crowd hyped. It is 100% spontaneous and absolutely thrilling to watch. In each round, they have a maximum of 45 seconds. Just think about that for a second. Less than a minute to show off your entire arsenal of moves, react to music you've never heard, and impress the judges. It's just an insane test of stamina and lightning-fast creativity.
All right, let's learn some of the basic terms so you know what you're looking at. Everything usually starts with the top rock. This is the dancer's introduction, the standing steps they use to enter the circle. It's how they catch the vibe of the music and show off their style before they take it to the floor.
Then you've got the power moves, and these are the big, explosive, jaw-dropping acrobatic moves that everyone loves. We're talking about windmills, head spins, all that crazy stuff. Seriously, the strength and body control you need for these moves is right up there with what you'd see from an elite gymnast. It's incredible.
And finally, you have the freeze. I love this one. It's like the exclamation point at the end of a killer sentence. The dancer just stops all motion and hits this ridiculously difficult, stylish pose, holding it perfectly still. It's a pure showcase of balance, strength, and control.
Okay, let's tie this all together for our last section. What does it actually mean to take this culture, with all its history and its philosophy of peace and unity, and plug it into the Olympics? Because look, this is so much bigger than just adding a new sport to the lineup. This is about an entire global culture, with its own history, its own art, its own values, finally getting its moment on the world's biggest stage. It is a huge, powerful moment of recognition for a community that, let's face it, has often been misunderstood. And there's this quote from the amazing Dutch b-boy Menno van Gorp that just says it all. He said, "Call us arthletes." Arthletes! It's perfect, right? It totally captures that they are both things at once. Incredible artists and elite athletes, all rolled into one performance. It's where sport and art become the same thing. And really, that's why this is such a big deal. It's an opportunity to completely shatter old, tired stereotypes about urban arts and to put the positive, creative energy of this culture on full display. And for the Olympics, this is a massive, bold step into a much more inclusive and modern future.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought. What happens when a freestyle culture, one born from pure improvisation and personal style, meets the most structured, formal podium in all of sports? What does the future of sport even look like after this? It seems to suggest a future where personality, creativity, and where you come from are seen as being just as valuable as raw physical power. And you know what? That sounds like a pretty exciting future to me.